Hey guys, so today we're going to be working on some watercolor pencil techniques, and in your Art Foundations book that you've been given, page 89, which is almost at the end, is this page. That's what we're going to work on in class today, but the blank page is going to be kind of like your play page, so we're going to play around with it a little bit so we can kind of get used to our color pencil techniques. So I have put together a couple different color pencil arrangements, and you know what? The way I do this is I look at how the color pencils kind of look like. This is kind of an easy transition here, right? So I'll do this. Then I'm gonna do the, traditional sunset. I can even add a little bit of violet into it, right? And then I'm going to do what I ended up doing, and you're gonna have to figure out what your color combinations are going to work best depending on what you want to do with your drawing summative. So these were the three that I used for my orchid, but I'm going to show you a couple different ways to use something called burnishing. And burnishing basically means you're pressing really hard with a pencil. So I'm going to start here. I'm going to start right here, and I'm going to press really, really hard with my yellow, right? All right, and then I'm going to get a little bit lighter, and then I'm going to go in with my green, which is very similar. So if you look at these, like, you could see this slowly turning into this, right? Because we know yellow makes green, so this kind of looks like a yellow green. So that sort of goes with what we know. So we're going to go here, and notice I'm starting right here, not on top of the yellow. But you know what I'm going to end up doing? I'm going to end up going into the yellow, so I'm blending the two colors, and look what's happening. Isn't that look cool? And then I'm starting to press lighter and lighter, and color pencils are wax based, so what happens is it gets kind of hard for you to layer. So burnishing means you're pressing really hard and you're putting one color in over the other, and look at this beautiful transition that you're getting, right? Well, we're not done. We're going to keep going. So you don't necessarily have to use more than two colors in your project, but why not start getting comfortable with this? So what I forgot to do is go a little bit lighter here. So I'm pressing a little bit lighter. It's all pressure. I'm going into this green, and I'm going to take this green, and all I'm doing is I'm pressing with less force. And sometimes what you can do is if you're holding your color pencil like this, you can put a lot more pressure to it. If you actually move your hand up from the color pencil, it gets a little bit more easy for you to be gentle with how you press. Look, I'm pressing, but it's a lot, so I have to move my hand down. And then I'm gonna move into the blue, and I'm pressing hard here. Look how nice that blue goes into the green. And I almost didn't even have to layer, right? That looks pretty good. That looks really good. All right, so there's two things we can do here. This is called burnishing, so you're blending one color into the other. There's also creating value just by using pressure. I'll go into that in just a second. But first, we're gonna make this classic sunset that everybody loves to make. So once again, I'm starting with my yellow. And you don't have to start with yellow. I'm just starting with yellow because these happen to be the two things that I kind of want to show you. And once again, I'm putting less and less pressure to the yellow. And then I'm going to go in with my orange, right? Because orange, how is orange made? If we have yellow, we got red. Look at this. This already kind of looks like, if you just put these together, it looks like a natural transition, right? So before you even understand color theory, you could just line these up and kind of see how one color blends into the next, to the next, to the next. And then I'm going to start going into my yellow. I'm making that sunset color, right? We'll do this in watercolors as well when we get into watercolors. And then I'm going to start releasing my pressure here, going out, and going in with my, this isn't quite red. This is called well, it's called poppy red. It's definitely poppy red. Red can actually pivot between light, like a warm red, and this is definitely a warm red, and a cool red, which would be more of a burgundy. But check this out, you guys. This is pretty cool. Look at that. And let's, should we move on to like this purplish color? Let me just see if this will work. I'm gonna try it out here. I don't know if these two would work really well. Oh no, I broke my pencil. You know what? That's why I always have a sharpener. All right, so I have a sharpener here. Will this work? And this doesn't look so good. So let's see if we can maybe try this. The problem with this kit that I have here is I don't have like, oh, you know what? I found the thing I need. I need this guy. Oh, this is the one. See? Trial and error, ladies and gentlemen. Trial and error. You just saw your teacher try things back and forth until we figured out what works best. Look at that. That looks beautiful. And then I'm going to go back in with my poppy red, go over that so that I can make a nice little blend. And then let's go back to this violet that I originally tried. Now look, oh, the violet works with this. Yes, it does. Okay. So the back page here, this is your exploring page, all right? So you want to try things out, figure out how to explore, get your colors to blend by burnishing. Burnishing basically means pressing really hard, okay? Now, white is a really fun, like look, my white looks green because I was using green. If you recall on my example, I had some green stems, right? I had some green stems that I had going on, and I was actually adding a little bit of white to them to give it a bit of a highlight. And then I was using a darker green to give it a little bit of just differentiation. So that's something that you can use your white for. Your white is actually beautiful color, but you always have to kind of clean the tip, which I clearly didn't do for my last project. I'm going to show you one more thing, and then I'm going to let you guys work. So these were the colors I was using, right? So think about the colors that you want to use. And can you guys, yeah, okay. So this is a circle, right? So a circle, let's say we have a light source right here. This is my sun, happy sun. So what I'm going to do is, we've already learned about contour. So when we do shading, we think about contour kind of going in and in and in and in, and then your highlight's going to end up being here. So what I'm doing is I'm going to start out pretty dark. So it kind of like, think about this as like stages of the moon, right? Because the moon is a circle. And when the moon starts getting brighter and brighter, that's a light source, the sun shining on it. So you don't see the moon looking like this until it's finally at the half. You get these small little transitions. So look what I'm doing. I started out by pressing really hard with my darkest color. And you know what? I might even go in with my violet and go even a little darker right around the edges. And I'm layering. So currently I am burnishing. This is what I'm doing. I am burnishing. And then I'm going back. Oops, not this guy yet. Look at me holding these like chopsticks. All right, now I'm going in and I'm kind of going in a circular motion. Do you see that? That's a good method because if you just go like this, you're gonna see streaks. So the marks you make can actually show up, especially with something that is wax-based. And I'm starting to get a little bit lighter and lighter and lighter as I go in. And I'm gonna start introducing my pink. So my pink is coming in, and my pink is blending into the violet. So this is exactly what I ended up using with my orchid when I was drawing my orchids. So these circles, what I want you guys to do with these circles is use them kind of as like your playground for the colors that you want to use and practice blending those. So that looks pretty decent, right? I'm still going to go in a little bit. It's not absolutely perfect. But anyway, so, all right, so we got that. And then I was using my greens. So I'm still going to start with my middle green. My middle green is this guy. this feeling deep inside of me. It's okay to sing to yourself when you're coloring, when you're using your color pencils. In your arms so tight, you make me feel. Now I'm gonna go with my dark green. Hooked on a feeling. All right, now we're getting into it. So I'm pressing really hard. So this is again called burnishing. Pressing really hard with your pencil. But I already have this green, this middle green. So then I'm going a little bit lighter and lighter and lighter as I'm blending into the green. And then I'm gonna go back with my green. I'm gonna press really, really hard. And I tend to press really hard with my pencils. This is why I always have my sharpener at hand because, oh my goodness. By the way, if you guys want a good sharpener, this is like the best $7 I've ever spent in my life. Sharpeners tend to be, hit or miss. This sharpener has served me for years and years and years. Now I have a choice. Okay, so now I have this like beautiful transition of dark green to light green, which I used for the stems of my orchids. So now my next question is to myself, do I wanna make my highlight white, in which case I can actually go in with my white, which needs sharpening, or I can go in with my yellow. Totally your call. So if I go in with my white, you barely notice it, but if up close you would notice it, or you can go in with your yellow. If you go in with your yellow, that's a totally different effect. So anyway, so what we're gonna do with this page, ladies and gents, is we're gonna practice transitions. Okay, so we're gonna go warm to cool. Warm colors are gonna be yellows, reds, and then the reds will turn into purples, into blues. Blues will turn into greens. Lights to darks. I don't really care what colors you use, but I want you to start pretty light. So I would probably maybe go with like a white, pink, and then start getting darker and darker and darker. It could just be a sunset, right? It could be yellow all the way down to purple. Totally up to you, but this is practice so you get more comfortable with your color pencils. Sound good? All right, let's get to work.